Mr. Speaker, I rise today to update this Honorable House and the listening public on the exciting work that is taking place to reform the public education system in Bermuda. Before I do that, however, I'd like to remind this House and the listening public of the journey to date. In 2017, the government committed to transform public education so that each and every public school student would receive a high-quality public education. This promise to the children, families, and broader community was a response to widespread community calls for change. Supported by our powerful vision for learning, our goal is for an education system where all young people are educated to lead personally and professionally, compete locally, and contribute globally. Mr. Speaker, having a parish primary school in each parish will create a learning hub for each parish, mobilizing the strengths and assets of the community in support of our schools. This model will provide the much-needed support for teaching and learning, improved educational programs and initiatives, and create strong, authentic partnerships to help schools transform into places that are relevant to the needs of the 21st century learners in Bermuda. The parish primary school model provides an opportunity for us all to have a laser-like focus on what is in the best interest of Bermuda's children and young people, both now and in their future. This means we must be always focused on equity, the critical imperative of elevating each and every learner, irrespective of their background and current circumstance. Impact, providing the opportunity for all young people to be educated to lead personally and professionally, compete locally, and contribute globally. And resourcing, better utilization of our precious resources across a fewer number of primary schools. Mr. Speaker, after extensive consultation to obtain the views, comments, questions, and feedback from persons who would be directly affected by the proposals and the wider community, a determination was made that there will be 10 parish primary schools comprising 1 school per parish, except Pembroke, which would have 2. Mr. Speaker, we acknowledge that these decisions have affected each school and school community differently. Our ongoing commitment is to sensitively handle the transition process and include opportunities for as much stakeholder and community participation as is required. The implementation of these decisions will not happen overnight, but will be phased in over the next 7 to 10 years. Mr. Speaker, honoring and preserving the history and legacy of primary schools will be a critical part of the community involvement process of transition and implementation to a new model of parish primary schools. Therefore, the ministry will continue to collaborate with community members, including persons with deep connections to schools, in order to develop the best ways to honor and preserve the history and legacy of primary schools. This work will be guided and delivered by the History and Legacy Committee. Mr. Speaker, this brings me to the update on where we are currently. Our first 2 parish primary schools have begun the transformation journey. Purvis Primary School in Warwick Parish and Francis Patton Primary and Lyceum Preschool in Hamilton Parish have been working diligently since June of this year with the support of their assistant directors and our change partners, Innovation Unit, on the school transformation process. Mr. Speaker, I am genuinely excited to be sharing both their progress with you. The school transformation teams for both Francis Patton and Purvis have undertaken research with the community to understand the hopes, dreams, and aspirations they have for their young people and the community. Identified key features of all parish primary schools, that is, they will be the hub of the community, places that make learning a priority, focused on students' interests and ambitions in and outside of school. Take place in flexible learning spaces, where students will develop 21st century skills, where teachers collaborate with each other and across schools, where families are learning partners, where students are culturally and globally connected, and where history and legacy is preserved. They've also developed blueprints for these generic features and made them locally relevant to each parish community. And we've tested these blueprints far and wide with all stakeholders in order to refine them. Mr. Speaker, after an internal process with the executive leadership team of the Department of Education to ensure that the work is of the highest quality, these blueprints have formed the basis of the next phase of work. The phase where we will work how to make these things happen. How will we bring these ideas on a page to life and ensure our teachers and community partners are both confident and competent to implement them for the benefit of all learners. Mr. Speaker, I have been grateful to participate in some of these processes and heartened to hear about the work that has been undertaken most recently. I would like to give you an example of the open houses at both the new Parish primary school sites. The open houses were oversubscribed. Continuing and prospective families and community members attended in large numbers. They were excited to hear about the plans for each school. Mr. Speaker, some may even say they were impatient, wanting our parish primary schools to be ready even sooner than what we have planned. Mr. Speaker, this patient optimism is a very good problem to have. We know that in order for our country to thrive, it must have a trusted and high-performing public school system. We know we have the talent and assets on island, both within school and the broader community, to build this. And for the first time in a long time, we have a government that has the political will to see this through. Mr. Speaker, I look forward to continuing to update this House and the general public on future developments, but I implore everyone not to wait for that. Our school transformation teams for both parish primary schools and our signature schools are looking for even more people to join the education reform movement. No matter how big or small you think your contribution can be, we welcome it. You can find out more at learningfirstbda.com or by emailing schoolredesign@moed.bm. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.